Hello, welcome to Only Stupid Answers. My name is Sam Basher.
And I'm DJ Woldridge.
And today we're joined by Winona.
Well, she's down there.
It's a pup. She gave me licks. So today we're going to be talking about Titans episode 207, Bruce Wayne. Tensions are running high at Titans Tower. How high, you'll say? I don't have an asset to describe this, but here, look at this.
Yeah.
After their most recent encounter with Deathstroke, Kory attempts to learn more about Connor Kent, and Rose tries to help Jason cope with his near-death experience while the old Titans keep getting mysterious reminders of a past they'd rather forget. As Dick sets out alone to track down Deathstroke, a familiar voice begins to haunt him, taunting him and attempting to guide him back to being the leader of the Titans' need, with a strange ongoing happening, and Dick's continuing to keep the team in a dark, both Jason and the Titans reach potential breaking point.
You got it. You got there.
What happened? So we're seeing Jason is really good at visualizing falling.
Yes.
I actually thought that was I like the visual too, where it's like, yeah, he's just constantly remembering the fact that he accepted that he was going to die.
Yeah, he was
night.
almost dying. Actually, I thought that was a lot of these shows try to deal with like PTSD and stuff like that. I thought this was the most clearly depicted of how it's affecting him, why it's affecting the way it's affecting him, and like the actual visceral him reliving that. I thought was really cool. I actually
all the power was taken away from him in that situation, where normally since his confidence and also his cunning, he's a Robin for a reason.
Yes.
But this was a situation where he's a loser. He lost, fully lost, and he was going to die.
Yep. And it's kind of his fault, and he blames himself for getting in that position. Him falling is not a problem, but what got him into that position is
his
fault.
fault.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And living with all that. And I liked... and also we get another Dick Grayson throwing a hissy fit and going off on his own. But the show...
I liked this one, though.
Because the show made fun of it. Because the show is poking fun at him through the ghost or mental image of Bruce Wayne, which I'm going to be honest, I'm a little tired. Just because I don't know as a person what
it means.
Like, what does this mean in a real life? Because I don't know about you. I've never imagined they do it a lot in the shows I watch. I've never had a person talking to me that I imagine.
I'm guessing maybe it's a Deathstroke trick or something.
I'm thinking because everything, all this weird stuff's happening to everybody. I'm thinking that perhaps because of Jericho's abilities, they're maybe like leaning into the ghost aspect of it, and maybe he's causing this, or maybe Deathstroke dosed him with some sort of like, and the show they'll be like a scarecrow,
fear toxin,
fear toxin or something. Whatever the reason, this by far is my favorite performance of Iain Glen as Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, it was so good, and because at first I'm like, not quite buying it, like it's a fun idea, but I don't think they're really nailing what this is. And then the joke that got me, and I started,
and it's a really good joke.
It was like, Dick, do you need a hand? It's like, oh wait, I forgot. The only reason you're the leader of this team is because you have my phone number. Which is such a good dig because
100%, yeah, and
he has his credit card.
Yeah, it's 100% what Dick would question about himself, and it's also like. I like snarky Bruce Wayne. Also, in this show, in this episode, we got a lot of characters saying fuck. We got a character dealing with PTSD. We got bare titties.
You did.
We did
at the burlesque show.
Yes. No. When he goes to Wintergreen's place.
That's true too.
And but we also get Iain Glen's Bruce Wayne doing the Batusi, which was so funny because ever since he's shown up, Bruce Wayne has kind of reminded me in a weird way of Adam West.
Yeah.
So just straight homaging it here was amazing.
So could Burt Ward show up as the very first Robin when Bruce Wayne was a young man? And then you have Dick Grayson. Now Jason, he's piling up the kids in old age.
Yeah.
It's like he's got empty nest syndrome. he's gotta have a kid
He
there.
Sure does. He sure does.
Yeah, no, I love that. That was wonderful. And I liked the realization that Dick came to at the end about being a leader. It's like regardless of your insecurities, so far you've been the one that's been holding them together. So you need to identify that, and you lying and you're bending over backwards to hide this thing. His hissy fit in this is him still trying to hide the fact that he's responsible for the death of Deathstroke's
some way.
son.
I would imagine it's not as explicit because he makes it sound like he stabbed the knife.
So, and that's how he feels.
Yes.
But it made it clear from another character in the show is that Deathstroke killed his own son.
Yeah.
Rose says that.
Yes.
And so, and also, because that's a good point where he finds the record and Rose freaks out. So it can't be Rose, the one pulling the
Rose
pranks.
finds the record. Donna finds the orange soda
that Aquaman gave him.
Yeah. And then,
picture
Hank
of the kid.
Picture of the kid. Don finds the picture of the kid, and then Hank finds the bottle of whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me think it's like maybe Jericho literally, they're haunted by this place, but maybe Jericho literally haunts this place.
That's cool.
And it's a good way to bring him back, and especially if he's maybe the other reason Jason is so heavily affected is maybe Jericho's in there, and it would make as vulnerable as Jason Todd is that would be what Jericho would lash on. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, my association with Jericho in the comics is that he's kind of a bad dude.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Sometimes good, he wants to be a good
Yeah.
dude. He usually, I think, older versions of Jericho and also Earth One Teen Titans made him a villain.
Yes.
Just fully. But in more recent comics, he does bad things, but he's trying to be a good person.
And we saw in the flashback that he's just a straight good kid. But then maybe if your friends murdered you or your dad murdered you, either way, maybe you'd lash out a little bit.
Oh yeah, you were a pawn.
Yeah.
Everything in your life is not in your control.
Yeah. So maybe that's where the lines blur a little bit for Jericho.
So for the relationship that we know, basically the timeline that we have right now is that because of the death of Garth,
Yeah.
because of Deathstroke, and then Deathstroke did that. That
Yeah.
is wrong. Everything about that's bad, and
Yes.
it's his fault. Dick lashes out by recruiting Deathstroke's son to get at Deathstroke.
Yes.
Not intending for him to get killed,
No.
but because he put him in, since he was just a normal kid, and then he recruited him to be a superhero, that is Dick's fault.
Yes.
So to that degree.
And it might even be more or less direct than that.
Maybe he was
he's-
like, "Oh no, I'm falling! Throw Jericho in front of a bullet."
exactly. Or like he goes to stab Deathstroke and Jericho gets in the way. That classic kind of a thing. I doubt it's as straightforward as Dick's like, "Screw you, Deathstroke," and he snaps Jericho's neck or
Yeah,
something.
like rips the head off.
Yeah, something like that.
Volleyballs it over to Deathstroke.
Man, you still haven't seen Primal.
No.
A lot of that. But yeah, so I'm interested. But that whole revelation he went through, I like the interaction with Wintergreen. I like that actor.
I like that they confirmed that that's Wintergreen. So in the comics, usually Wintergreen looks like Alfred, but like with more like a mustache.
Yeah.
And there's a great run in Deathstroke right now where Wintergreen and Alfred have just kind of been friends, and they've
Yeah.
been these caretakers to these two men who are kind of similar but kind of not.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I really like that. But now it's like it's not an Alfred, but he's still like the handler.
He's the
for
handler.
all the contracts that Deathstroke gets, and so Deathstroke doesn't really know exactly what he's going after. He knows as much as he needs to. Wintergreen knows as much as he needs to. He knows when things are done and when things come in for Deathstroke to do.
100%. And I think part of what makes this version of Wintergreen work is the actor they got. Like he's able to convey a lot about who this person is, and it is in a way kind of like an evil Alfred. You know what I mean? And I like that.
I also, bringing that back, in that scene, that's when Dick talks to Bruce. Like he's like, "Hey, stop talking," and it's like, what is happening? When you bring up like haunting or something like that, that would help make sense of this, because that means Dick has active hallucinations, which is kind of like a mental disorder,
is a
which
legitimate problem.
He has had quite a few conks on the noggin, so maybe get that checked as
You
well.
know what? That actually plays into an interesting subplot in the first season of Hannibal, where basically the main character has like he's got inflammation in the brain, and Hannibal realizes it but doesn't tell him because he wants him to go insane.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really dark, and so he has visions like that, but it's because of a legitimate condition. It'd be interesting if a show like this dealt with it. Like, yeah, you've been beat up a lot.
Yeah.
You've got problems up there.
I mean, they did do a Luke Cage comic where they dealt with CTE.
Yeah.
But by the end, it cured.
Of course, because you still want him to punch the bad guys.
Yeah, you want him to get punched.
Exactly.
So with that, Dick comes back and he chooses to be there and to out what happened. Because, like, I don't even think the old Titans really know to an extent of what
it seems.
he did.
It seems like they don't know. You're
Yeah,
right. It
and
seems
so
like they're kind of
They
in the
know
dark.
that Garth died and Jericho died. So
Yes.
it's like there's a very clear reason why we can't have this team anymore,
Yeah.
because two kids died.
Yeah.
And so, kids.
Yeah. Jericho's definitely
A kid.
Yeah.
But Dick at that point, I can't tell. Like,
Yeah.
maybe 21,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I think it is, because they say that Garth is like 22, 23, something like that.
Okay. Because
his
they are
birthday.
drinking, too.
Yeah.
So with that, I like that he comes back, and so the people don't know, and he talks to Jason first. And I also, speaking of Jason, throughout this whole thing, him having his like emotional reactions and not getting angry when they're accusing him of stuff, because it's like, I'm not doing it. Like,
Yeah.
I like the reaction where it's like, yeah, this seems like a reaction of someone who could be hyperactive, but right now he's fully burnt out. Like,
Yeah.
he is fully emotionally drained, and he can't even cope with himself right now.
Yeah.
And the idea of him walking up on that ledge, like, it's dark. I don't believe we've really seen Jason Todd grapple with suicide before, but this version of Jason Todd, I bought it. And also it was a great moment of empathy for Dick. It made him show that it showed the audience and himself that he is a leader,
Yeah.
and he can being honest and being able to talk, like just talk out everything. He can show that he is deserving of leading this team, and he can help train the next generation with Jason and Beast Boy and Raven and everything. And I like Jason Todd's performance during that scene.
100%. And I also think he gets a really cool moment with Rose, which, of course, if you were going to pair off characters, those two make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that's cool too.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it doesn't. Fortunately for Jason, it doesn't quite go the way it looks like it's going.
Yeah.
So, and we also get interesting. You pointed out earlier that it's like you thought Crypto was going to be out of the show, and then that stuff. Fortunately, that stuff kind of gets resolved ASAP to the point where he flies Eve through that window, which was great. It's goofy, but it's goofy in the absolute right way.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's like, how do your eye thing?
Do whatever that. How do you tell
you
a dog
know what
to do
it
that?
is.
Owning a dog. Imagining a dog that could fly and have super strength and have laser vision is like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's a super. If he goes after the paper like one time, he's gonna be murdering somebody.
Yeah, gonna be a problem. But and Starfire somehow ends up becoming kind of his Superboy's main caretaker while he's there.
Good call, because I think they could maybe guess that he has superpower. I mean, what I got was if he woke up and grabbed the wrist of Dawn, it would have turned into splinters. And having Starfire being the one that was the caretaker makes sense. I don't think that was ever discussed, but it just makes sense from a writing standpoint that she's the one taking care of him. Also acknowledging that they have weirdly solar-based powers, both of them do. It's different, but her using that power to like energize
was cool.
His
also,
cells.
her knowing Kryptonian,
but it's a dead language that she knew how to speak enough,
which is a stretch because it's like, I don't know about you, I don't know Latin. Somebody was speaking Latin to me, I wouldn't do any good.
But hey, she's royalty though.
Exactly, and I just thought it was cool. It was just a cool like way to like shorthand of getting to who this person is.
Yeah, she's a Kryptonian. Dawn, you know anyone who's Kryptonian? I guess no one knows that Superman's Kryptonian. Yeah. No one knows Superman's Kryptonian.
Or maybe
apparently.
they just don't have. They have
Maybe
Bruce's
Dawn
phone number.
know.
Well, they say call Bruce.
Call Bruce.
Yeah,
you should call Bruce.
He should 100% call Bruce. I also like the scene, kind of jumping back to Dick and Bruce, where Dick goes back to one of his original contacts in San Francisco, and he like basically pins in the bar and puts a gun to his head. And Bruce, no guns. Like Bruce is a huge dick to him the whole time, but then they go, "Hey man, what are you doing? No guns. What are you talking about?"
And I liked the way that Deathstroke right now is pulling strings. When we find the photos of all the Titans at the tower, it's like, Dr. Light's gone. Deathstroke's fine. Mm-hmm. He didn't need him. No. He was a means to an end, and now Deathstroke has everyone where he wants them. Yeah. And there's not really a way for you to get out of this. You didn't win. I mean, it's very clear they did not win against Deathstroke before.
It'd be interesting too. I remember there was a run on Titans where Deathstroke was like part of the team at one point. Of course, just like Magneto.
He led his own Teen Titans team called Defiant recently. It happens.
So it'd be interesting if like I guess my point is like, don't be, maybe at the end of the season I'll feel differently, but like, don't be so quick to get rid of this guy because he's doing a good work.
Don't kill him. Don't do a Kilgrave thing at the end of Jessica Jones. Like maybe
keep him around.
Throw him in the super prison.
Yeah. Then he runs into Minnie Bennett there, and it's like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, super confusing.
What's going on?
But honestly, I like the way this show's building from the Connor episode to now. Like, it just feels like when you want to introduce a new character, there are enough blank pieces for you to kind of fit them in. Like we saw Jason falling. Now we get Connor's episode. We get to see how he now fits in with the team. And I'm glad they didn't like nerf Superboy right out the gates. Like now he's super powered. He'll get his super suit or super shirt back. Kind of hope he gets like a Superman costume. That'd be cool. Black and red, which would be fun. And I wouldn't mind seeing like Crypto kind of playing around with Beast Boy so that he can learn to turn into a dog, so he can learn into a snake, a tiger, a dog. Yeah,
and that's I will say, if the detractions of this episode, there's a lot of characters just waiting around until like the next because they all have the revelation like, wait, we're finding this stuff. The episode goes on, they come back and they're all just still in the kitchen. It's like,
should we talk about this?
Yeah. And then Beast Boy just shows up to let people into the. It bums the one problem I have with the season is how much it's sidelined Beast Boy. Mm-hmm. It's like, I get the powers and all that stuff, but that actor's really good and the character's really good, so don't forget about it.
Yeah, I think so far the balance of the show's been pretty good. Yeah. So if we kind of get another episode where like Donna was sidelined in this episode basically, but she had a big one previously. So let's see Raven and Beast Boy have another big one. And also I like the way they use Raven's powers now. It is goop, so we're just gonna have to accept that's just what it is.
It's just what it is.
It's cool when they're shadows, like in the cartoon or in the comics or whatever, but Goop's fine. Yeah. And I like the way they used him in tandem with Kory's to protect the rest of the building, because good idea. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And I like that they have a scientist on the team now.
Yeah, I hope he sticks around, honestly, just because I liked her dynamic with Superboy. I'm way on board with her just being there.
And also now you have Cadmus after you. There's a couple different threats right now, which is cool because we had Dr. Light and Deathstroke. Now we have Deathstroke and Cadmus.
Did they mention the next? I think Mercy Graves mentioned like, well, then we're just going to do the next subject. 14. So it's like,
which in Young Justice was just another Superboy that could fly and it was like full Kryptonian, but had like the mind of Lex Luthor. Basically,
I'd be interested in maybe a Bizarro
cool,
or Doomsday.
You could do like one that's perfect, but then slowly starts to like degrade into a Bizarro. That's really fun. They did that in Earth 2 comics, which that was a whole slapdash run. But when Tom Taylor did it, he did the whole Bizarro thing, and that turned out being super duper cool. So maybe have a clone that turns into Bizarro. It's a good way to streamline a lot of DC continuity in ways that get stupid sometimes. So I love that. Deathstroke. I want to see how maybe Rose gets her own costume. I want to see how Jericho factors into everything.
I'd be surprised if we don't get like another Jericho, like flashback Jericho centric episode next week.
I feel that makes sense because he teed it up basically. I killed Deathstroke's son. I do want to look it up really quick. I don't think we're going to be seeing any new additions of characters, correct? As far as I know.
Yeah, I think we've reached our limit.
Yeah, so so I know there is a title out for next week. I'm not able to pull it up right now, but we'll take a look at that. I'm excited to learn more about what happened with Jericho, and I hope maybe he doesn't have powers. Like maybe he does. I really hope he has powers because he's able to like transmit his brain into other people's bodies. His body like passes out. So you have to have someone who protects that while he takes over someone else's like being, which is super cool. And he can use their powers if he wants to. It's a really cool element to add to this show, and I would be excited to see it. But we'll wait and see. Maybe he's into like he's a ghost that's floating around. Yeah. Classic. And also, please use Beast Boy more. Make him turn into other stuff. A monkey.
Yeah, and even if it's like the power stuff, at least utilize that character and that actor more. Even if you can't use the powers all that often, just tap back into him.
Let's see Rose be angry a little bit more because Raven did kill her.
Yeah, or maybe you shuttle Beast Boy off back to Doom Patrol and he can hang out with Cyborg over there.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be super cool. Oh yeah, because they'll team up. Yeah,
yeah. If there's not a place for him on this show, just maybe ship him right back over to Doom Patrol.
And with that, please have Cyborg show up on this show in some way. Just give him one. I think this show
maybe a
post-credit
scene or something. Yeah.
You can do it.
No.
You can do it. I trust you guys. But gang, let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments down below. Make sure you check out patreon.com/onlystupidanswers because we're doing a show called Super TV Showdown.
Yes.
And we're counting down to Crisis on Infinite Earths. We're watching all the CW shows so you don't have to. And you can hear our reviews and also our speculation for Crisis on Infinite Earths based on the new casting announcements and other set photos that come out. Lots of stuff we're talking about, so don't miss out. As low as $5 a month, you can get all the episodes from the years we've been doing that show. So don't miss out. We're going to be talking about Watchmen as well next week, so make sure you tune in right there. Follow at DD Talks Trash, at Sam Basher, and at Only Stupid Answers.
You got the bells from Stupid.
Right on Twitter. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.